Hello guys and girls, and welcome back to another episode of Seb Talks Sports, sponsored by Memsham UK, the place to go to for brand new, authentic signed NFL memorabilia. That intro music and podcast theme was created by All-Pro New York Giants running back, now music creator and friend of the show, David Wilson. Go and check him out on all of his social media platforms at @4StillRunning on Twitter and Instagram, and his music under David E. Wilson across all good music streaming services. He's free for business, so drop him a message if you want some beats for your podcast, advert, commercial, absolutely anything you need. Before I get into this episode, I just want to say that if you're not already following Seb Talks Sports across all platforms, then please do. You can find me on Facebook, Seb Talks Sports, YouTube, Seb Talks Sports, Twitter Seb Talks Sports, and Instagram, where I'm primarily active. Again, it's Seb Talks Sports. Today I've got a great guest. It's another throwback episode, and speaking of throwing, it's another quarterback. College star and former UConn passer, patiently waiting to sign that career-changing NFL deal with the pro franchise, David Pindell. Enjoy. My guest today is a pro football player and former UConn quarterback who is currently waiting to sign that big deal in the NFL, which is only a matter of time. It's a pleasure to welcome David Pindell to Seb Talks Sports. David, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, good, man. Thanks very much for coming on today. Let's start with your earliest memories. So do you remember your earliest memories of playing football and how you ended up becoming a quarterback of all the positions?
Yeah, definitely. So I started playing football in high school, my sophomore year of high school. So that's when I, first got into football. That's when I first started playing. I was inspired by Michael Vick. I ended up, I was watching the Eagles game one day, and I seen how he was just running all over people and, just making people miss. And from there, I just told myself, hey, I wanted to be him. I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to do that. And from there, I tried out for high school football, and, coach said I had potential, I had an arm, and I was athletic enough to, thrive in it. So then that's where it took off at my sophomore year of high school.
Good stuff. Okay, so during your 2 years at UConn, you had 23 passing touchdowns to 13 rushing touchdowns. So how much of a part of your game is your rushing ability? Because obviously now we're seeing that with Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson in the NFL. So how much of your game do you put down to your ability to take off and run?
A lot of the runs that were that I accounted for were, instinctual because, our offense was built around quick game and, throwing the ball a lot. And I was able to do that. But, in my style of play, my instincts just whenever there's an open lane or there's an opportunity for me to, run when I have to, then I'll do that. So, I don't, critique and I don't, focus a lot on my running ability because that's just a plus for me. But I mostly try to focus on my passing ability because that's what I think a lot of people sleep on is me passing the ball. So, my passing ability and everything is what I like. I practice every day. I focus on that, work on my film and, my gameplay film and study like that. But, the running ability is just just a bonus because, it's from the quarterback position, they expect you to pass the ball, be able to, deliver passes sitting in the pocket. But on top of that, when you're able to run and you can make plays with your feet, then that's just, a plus.
So if you're like progressing through your reads and then there's nothing open, it must give you a bit of confidence knowing that you can just take off whenever there's a gap or, you can get the better of like a lineman or a linebacker or a safety or whatever, whoever's there. The fact that you can take off with that speed you've got, the agility you have, like it just gives you a bit of confidence going forward.
Yeah, definitely. For me, though, I'm more of a, if it's not open, if nothing's there, I try to buy time. So, I'll escape to make plays, look downfield, throw on the run. And then if it's not there, then that's when I take off because, I like to think I'm a quarterback first rather than just a runner because a lot of people put that in perspective that I just take off and run because I ran for a lot. And if you watch a lot of my film and my actual games, you'll see that I extend the play. So I try to, get out the pocket, run around and find somebody downfield. And then if there's not there, then I end up picking off.
So who would you say was your biggest inspiration growing up? And do you model your game on any quarterback in particular? I know you said about Michael Vick, but was there anyone else growing up or was it mainly him?
It was mainly Michael Vick because my family's not really a sports family. I'm the first person in my family to ever play a sport in college, high school, at the highest level. We're a big military family, so growing up, I didn't really have no inspiration or like somebody who I wanted to be like as a role model from a sports perspective. But what motivated me always growing up was not being successful. I always feared, not being successful. So that's what made me, once I got into football, I wanted to take it serious and I wanted to, go as far as I can with it because at the end of the day, nobody wants to be non-successful. So that's what always motivated me growing up. I always told myself, I'm never going to be poor. I don't want to be one of those people who don't know what they're going to do with their life and anything like that. So that's probably what motivated me. And then when I got into football, that's when I took football as far as I could and, committed and dedicated myself to it. And you said, who do I model my game after? Lately, I've been watching, like, my favorite quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. So I try to, watch a lot of him, but also incorporate, with my speed and my running ability with that. So I try to, compact those two together, Aaron Rodgers with, some speed that can run. And that's probably who I model my game after the most. And I watch a lot of, Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson.
Good stuff. So during your college years at UConn, who do you say is the best player you've ever played with and against, and why?
I've played against a bunch of people. There's not really one person that I could say is the best player I've played against, but I've played against some really good talent. My 2 years at UConn, a few names to mention. I played against Central Florida, the Florida team, South Florida, Central Florida. They have a great team, great athletes. We went out to Boise State. They have a tremendous team, really disciplined team out there. Cincinnati, we played them. They were a competitive team. Temple. And, the American Conference as a whole, has a lot of competition, a lot of talent that is, I think, could play in, the Power 5 group. But, since we're the AAC, we're next underneath the Power 5. We have some really good talent. I played against a really lot of good guys from these teams in AAC.
Nice one. So home field advantage can also be a huge factor in football, and it's a lot harder to win on the road. What do you find was the toughest atmosphere you ever played in?
Definitely Boise State. Boise State, they have a crazy fan base, and, their stadium is like a bowl. So it probably holds 40, 50,000. But the thing about theirs is they fill that bowl, they fill it up. So all their fans are there. And, when they're going crazy, it kind of feels like the stadium is shaking. And then, the blue turf kind of like throws you off. But their environment was really hard to play in. I think first quarter, we probably had seven to eight false start penalties, because we couldn't, their stadium was so loud when we tried to, go no huddle and stuff.
Wow.
Kept going offsides. But, yeah, they probably had the wildest stadium, and then probably Central Florida.
Nice. So, from the interviews I've watched of you, and obviously from today, you struck me as a very humble, hardworking guy. So how important do you think it is to set an example for your teammates? And how important is it, especially as a quarterback, to be a good leader?
I think it's it's probably one of the biggest traits as a quarterback, because to me, a lot of people take quarterback as, just a thrower, somebody can throw the ball, but it's deeper than that. Being a quarterback, it's on the field, the type of person you are in the community, showing up first in meetings, last out of the meetings, just being that leader and role model off the field, because, quarterback is like, I would say, the dad of the family. It's like everybody looks up to you. Everybody looks up to you to lead them. They trust you. They depend on you. So you gotta take into account for all those things, classroom things, off the field, community things, and just being a good person all around, and being somebody that, everyone looks up to and wants to, be around and respect, because at the end of the day, if you don't have those abilities, all that transpires over to the football field. If you don't have that off the field and on the field, nobody's going to respect you from on the field. So I feel like, being a quarterback, it takes a toll and it takes a lot to become one or be considered one, because anybody can throw the ball, but do they have that next tangible where, you're a good person, you get, recommended by people in the area, people in the neighborhood like you, kids look up to you, they want to work with you, and, things of that nature.
That's it. So your job doesn't just end when you leave the field. It carries on. Like, your job as a quarterback is 24/7 kind of thing.
Exactly.
So obviously this year we tragically lost Kobe Bryant in a helicopter crash. And I know you used to come to UConn to watch the basketball. What kind of an impact did Kobe have on you growing up? And did you see the impact he had on UConn as a college?
Yeah, Kobe had an impact on, all of us at some point of our lives, no matter what generation, because, he's been in the league for a while. So he's impacted us all in some sort of way. For me, Kobe was always, he was an icon. Ever since I got into basketball, I don't really watch it too much, but when I do watch, names that everybody know are, Iverson, Kobe, Michael Jordan, LeBron. Those like four names that like everybody. That's like you can't say basketball without saying Kobe. Growing up, Kobe was an icon, an engineer. When people shoot and stuff now, it's just, hey, Kobe. So that's the type of person and impact he had on all of us. That he has like a saying, if you want to call it. When people shoot or something, they call it the Kobe, or the jump shot is Kobe. So that's how you can tell how big of an impact he left on his world. And it's sad what happened to him, and unfortunate, but it shows that life is short, and you never know when the end is there. So you gotta live every day like it's the last, and take the most of all your opportunities, and tell your family you love them also. So
yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm gonna end with some quick fire questions. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Dogs or cats?
Cats.
Twitter or Instagram?
Oh, Instagram.
Biggie or Tupac?
Tupac.
Favorite sports film of all time?
Longest Yard.
And if you had to play for one of the two UConn rivals, UMass or Rhode Island?
UMass.
UMass. Okay, nice one. David, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. Where can people find you on social media?
No problem. You can find me on social media, Instagram and Twitter. David Pindell _. I'm on Facebook, David Pindell. Snapchat, if you use Snapchat, D Pindell. Those are all the platforms you can find me on. Follow me. I try to, answer as many messages and DMs as possible. So if you have a question or have a request, anything, hit me up. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible.
Good stuff. I'll leave all your links down below as well. Really appreciate you coming on today.
No problem. Appreciate you having me once again.
And there he goes, the one and only David Pindell. Such a talented player who showed just what he could do at the college level, both through the air with his passing ability and also on the ground as a rusher. A serious dual threat as a player that I know is being looked at and followed closely by NFL teams across the league. It's only a matter of time before a pro franchise comes calling. Make sure to go and check out David across all of his social media accounts. All of the links you need are in the description of this episode. I've got many more great guests coming very soon, so stay tuned right here on SebTalksSports. And to take us out as usual, here's another brilliant track by All-Pro New York Giants running back, turned music creator and friend of the show, David Wilson. Catch you soon, guys.